What in the world is going on with Lane Kiffin? We're going to try and diagnose that here on Four Verts. My name is Harrison Graham. Is he staying? Is he leaving? We'll get into all of the latest, including some comments from himself. But I want to hear from you guys. We do a lot of NFL content here on Four Verts, but we do some college football as well. I want to see fan bases repped in the comment section. Who is your favorite college football team? I'm a TCU alum. We're in shambles. You let me know who your favorite squad is. With that being said, we'll jump on it. I'm Harrison Graham. Let's get into the latest on Mr. Lane Kiffin as the rumors are swirling around. Is he going to LSU? Is he going to Florida? Could he jump to the NFL, or is he simply going to stay at Ole Miss? So I kind of want a chronological order this. So a couple days ago on 3 Sports, Pete Nakos reports that Ole Miss wants clarity this week about Lane Kiffin's future, which is their bye week before they play Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl next week. They want to know where he stands because it's probably been about a month now since they reportedly offered him a contract extension. Obviously, LSU has opened up Florida. Members of Kiffin's family visited both those cities and campuses over the weekend and earlier on Monday when it comes to LSU. So clearly, Kiffin is at least expressing interest in those openings. And on the surface, LSU, Florida, better jobs than Ole Miss. You could debate how much better in this NIL era. I think Ole Miss has committed a lot of resources, but that is a real thing. More from Nakos in the article here. He says sources have told On 3 that Ole Miss athletic director Keith Carter is seeking an answer from Kiffin about his future ahead of the Egg Bowl game this week, or ahead of Egg Bowl game week, which is next week, but they want an answer this week. Kiffin has become the most popular name in this coaching carousel with LSU and Florida courting him as their top target. If Kiffin misses the deadline, which we don't know exactly when, but sometime this week it sounds like, sources have raised questions about what the ramifications could be. Could he coach Ole Miss in the Egg Bowl, even the college football playoff? Those are questions unanswered. Ole Miss is in a tough spot here. Kiffin is a little bit as well. But if you're Ole Miss, you kind of have two options. If Lane Kiffin is non-committal on staying with you long term, you just play this year out and let him coach through the playoff, which you have not made the college football playoff. You have not been in position to potentially win a national championship, basically ever, at least in this century. Or you could play hardball and say, all right, Lane, after the Egg Bowl or even before the Egg Bowl, you're done. We're going to be a playoff team without you. You're not coaching us in the playoffs. That's a tough call. If you're Ole Miss, you don't have a history of winning national championships, right? So, kicking Lane Kiffin out hurts your chances of doing that, right? But the risk you take if you keep him, let him coach to the playoff, well, if you make the semis or the natty and he walks after that, you may not have a football team next year because everybody's going to go into the transfer portal. You're in a tough spot if you're Ole Miss. And so if you're Ole Miss, and I heard Josh Payne talk about this, you have to decide how much do you think your program is worth currently, right? Do you think you're some program that's going to be in shambles if Lane Kiffin leaves? Or do you think, hey, Lane, we appreciate you. This has been mutually beneficial, but we have NIL money. We're in the SEC. We have a strong enough brand. We're not going to let you coach the playoff while you have a signed agreement with another school and have started to recruit for that other school. We'll just have someone else coach the college football playoff. It's a tough call when it comes to that. Now, Lane Kiffin joined the Pat McAfee Show yesterday and was asked directly, have you been given an ultimatum? And here's what he had to say about that. He said, that is absolutely not true. There's been no ultimatum or anything like that at all. Like I said, we're having a blast. I love it here. It just couldn't be better. More on that in a minute. I pray for things. Our fans pray for these type of things. And now we are in the middle of it. So enjoy it. You're 10-1, and now we play in the Egg Bowl. It's not exactly a denial. Hey, fans, just enjoy it, man. We're in the middle of something awesome. That's not like a, hey, I'm committed to staying here long term. Hey, I know he said there's been no ultimatum, but that doesn't mean there hasn't been a soft deadline given. That doesn't mean there hasn't been conversations like, hey, you need to let us know what's going on. I think it's clear those conversations are happening, and it's definitely clear that at minimum, Lane Kiffin is hearing what LSU and Florida have to say. You don't fly your family out to visit those places and get feedback from them if you're not considering it. Now, I will say this as well. One more on this, and then I'll defend Lane Kiffin here in a little bit. The whole "it couldn't be better" comment, it just couldn't be better. Well, if it couldn't be better, you would have announced and signed an extension saying, I'm not going anywhere. The real thing is, it could be better. Now, it may not be. Grass isn't always greener on the other side. Ole Miss has proven it can compete in this NIL era, partially because of Lane, but also they're committing big NIL money. They've been big spenders the last few off seasons. But if it just couldn't get better, you wouldn't even entertain these openings. Well, LSU has a rich history. Florida, pretty damn good job. Like Ole Miss is a good job. Those jobs on the surface, bigger brands, they are certainly better. That doesn't mean you should just take it, but I understand entertaining it at the same time. Now, today, Lane Kiffin, again, chronological order, was asked. Trey Wallace tweeted this out. Fox College Football Report says Lane Kiffin says he's not speaking about other jobs when asked whether he could take another job before the postseason. He said, quote, like I said, I'm not talking about speaking about other jobs. The most like non-answer of all time. He's clearly having conversations with these other schools. I also want to throw this in there. If you have followed Lane Kiffin closely, especially in this later part of his coaching career, his involvement on Twitter, cracking jokes, he's kind of a troll. You know he loves this. He loves playing this game. He loves the attention. He loves being in the middle of it all. A lot of coaches, like Saban, would hate this, right? He loves it. He eats it up. He is all about it. He's been tweeting out like little screenshots of quotes of like just like subliminal messages, and it's like that's all funny. Like for me, it's hilarious. But if I'm like an Ole Miss fan, I'm like, dude, make a damn decision, man. Like we have a chance to win a national championship. Just stick around. So, going to be very interesting to see how it all plays out. I'll defend Lane on the other side of this break and explore another potential option that could be on the table as well. But today's show is sponsored by Turtle Beach, the number one brand in gaming headsets and accessories. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and under the tree, a gift was waiting, one that would change every game from then on. Remember what it felt like to unwrap your very first headset? The joy, that thrill of plugging it in and stepping into a whole new world? Get that game experience all over again with the Turtle Beach Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset. This is more than just a gift. It's the ultimate throwback to those holiday mornings spent from gaming from dawn to dusk, but it's better this time. No more tiny mics or muffled sound, just crystal clear audio, immersive surround sound, and an insane 80-hour battery life that keeps the fun going long after the Christmas lights come down. I've personally used Turtle Beach's headsets and accessories for years when I play video games, whether it's a sports game and feeling like you're in the stadium or games like Call of Duty or Fortnite, I'm ahead of the curve thanks to Turtle Beach. Get the ultimate immersive gaming experience today with Turtle Beach for a limited time. Only head to turtlebeach.com. Use our code CHAT for 10% off your entire order. That's 10% off your order at turtlebeach.com with promo code CHAT. Don't delay. Get the perfect gift now. Happy holidays from our friends at Turtle Beach. All right, I will defend Lane Kiffin here a little bit. And it's for this reason. The college football calendar is a disaster. Look, coaches leave, they take other jobs. That's part of being a working professional. You can't control when the interest comes. Here's the problem: the national championship game isn't until late January. The recruiting period is December for high school kids, or before, obviously, but really December. And then the transfer portal starts in early January. This should all be after the national championship game. First of all, the national championship game, January 19th, 20th, it's way too late. You got to get that closer back to the 10th, whether that means starting the regular season a week earlier, cutting down a bye. I think every team has multiple bye weeks. The NFL has one bye week. They play 17 games. These college teams play 12. We can cut down on the bye weeks here and make this more reasonable. And everybody's like, well, Harrison, the academic calendar, transfer portal, these guys got enrolled in school so pick a school so they can enroll in class. No one cares about that anymore. Okay. No one watching these schools running the programs. No one's worried about the academic side of it. Doesn't mean it's not important. It just means, hey, if the transfer portal is open from January 20th to February 5th, we can work a way around it. Maybe they're just not in classes that spring. They take them in the summer. Every student athlete I ever knew at TCU took summer classes. Why? Because they're on campus anyway. You can make up one semester of classes very, very quickly. You can figure this out. Believe me, it is not that complicated on that front. So I will defend Lane Kiffin in that regard because if all this stuff happened after the season, no one would be sure. Ole Miss fans would be annoyed if he left, but it's like, hey, you stuck through the season. There were no distractions. Okay, new season starts. That's what the NFL does. Week 18 ends, Black Monday hits. That's when teams start interviewing coaches. And there's even rules for assistant coaches coaching in the playoffs on specific times you can interview those coaches. Like, it's a much better model, and college football has got to figure that out, not only with the coaching carousel, but also with the transfer portal. Where will Lane Kiffin coach in 2026? If you had to guess, where is he coaching? Is he still at Ole Miss? Is he at Florida, LSU? Is he somewhere else? My gut tells me he stays at Ole Miss. I kind of think this is all some fun game for him. He seems to like Oxford. He has extended family. Like his brother, I think, lives there now. So it's like, do you really want to do this? And you could be a legend at Ole Miss, man. Like you could get a statue if you stay there. You're proven you're in the mix every year, especially in this 12-team playoff moving forward. I mean, this Trinidad Chambliss guy from Ferris State is going to have them in the playoff. I mean, I think Ole Miss is going to be able to compete. Again, don't blame him though for being interested in a place like LSU or Florida. I'll throw one more at you. What about the NFL? What if he's kind of just playing this fun game? Yeah, LSU, I'm interested. Florida, Ole Miss, yeah, I'm thinking about staying. We'll wait and see. Keep me on through the playoff, and then boom, I'm popping to the NFL. Because I think some NFL teams will be interested. The NFL coaching carousel this year is going to be interesting because there's not a lot of like obvious NFL coordinator candidates. I could see a Lane Kiffin drawing interest in the National Football League, and the calendar works better. Like if Lane Kiffin tells LSU and Florida, no, I want to see this through with Ole Miss, coach through the college football playoff. Well, the national championship is January 19th. Black Monday, when coaches can start being interviewed for NFL jobs, isn't until January 5th. James Franklin just got hired in November. So the earliest he could even draw interest in terms of an interview is that first week of January. Well, unless they make the national title game, that being Ole Miss, and even if they do, that's only 2 weeks later. Like NFL teams will wait. Why? Because free agency doesn't start until the second week of March. The NFL Combine, which is the first real event after the regular season, isn't until the end of February. They could interview Lane Kiffin January 20th, and if they want to hire him before the end of the month. That's plenty of time for him to assemble a staff and get the ball rolling in the NFL. The timing's better. He gets to see it through with Ole Miss at the college level. And if he decides he doesn't want to jump to the NFL or if he doesn't get an offer, well, he can just stay at Ole Miss. Like, if the worst case scenario for Lane Kiffin here is he just stays at Ole Miss, that's a pretty good option, right? I mean, if he stays at Ole Miss, that means he's signing a new contract that makes him probably the highest paid coach in college football. So Lane Kiffin is sitting pretty when it comes to this whole situation. Now, current NFL openings right now, the Giants and the Titans. Obviously, the Giants, Jackson Dart, who was his college coach and play caller, that would be Lane Kiffin. So you would think he'd at least have some interest there. Now, whether or not the Giants do, that's a different story. We'll see. Tennessee Titans, if he's a Cam Ward fan, you would think he would be interested in there. And he's a South guy. He's liked being in the SEC, moved to Nashville, not far from where he's at now. I think that would be appealing for Lane Kiffin. Some other potential openings. You got the Arizona Cardinals, the Atlanta Falcons, Cincinnati Bengals. What if the Bengals wanted him to sync up with Joe Burrow in that offense? That would be interesting. Cleveland, Las Vegas, Miami, some other openings there as well. I think he overlapped with Tua at Alabama, or maybe he recruited him. I'd have to double check on that. Long shot, Buffalo, if they fire Sean McDermott, if they lose early in the playoffs. There's deep rumors about Matt LaFleur in Green Bay. I'd be shocked there. Again, long shot. And Pittsburgh, every year we wonder, is this the year Mike Tomlin and the Steelers part ways? I doubt it, but you never know. So I do think a couple of these NFL jobs would be interested in Lane. So again, he's got a lot of options out there right now. It all just comes down to, is Ole Miss actually going to hold him hostile in this situation? We're going to find out in the near future. So what should Lane Kiffin do? Should he stay at Ole Miss? Type Y for yes, or should he leave? If you think he should leave, type N for no in terms of staying at Ole Miss. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Four Verts. Lots flying around Lane Kiffin right now. The noise is only going to get louder, so we will continue to cover it all here on this channel. My name is Harrison Graham. We'll see you guys soon.